Today I think I'm going to share a little bit of my dinner with you. I already started snacking on it when I was doing the pictures, but I think I can let you see the rest of it. I hope all this goes to my belly and hips.
Say that I love you with all my belly. I would say that I love you with all my heart, but my belly is bigger.
Look at that jiggle. So I had a doctor's appointment today, and it was a follow-up to the last few weeks had been a little bit of a shit show. Something small happened that ended up causing a couple surgeries, and it turned into being a bigger deal than it needed to be. Part of what happened, though, unfortunately, meant a lot less intake than I would normally have, especially in my recovered life. And my body has really taken a hit because of it. My heart, my blood pressure, all of that. Well, my doctor today asked me what my intake has looked like these last several days. So I did like a 24-hour review of what I'd eaten. And she was like, "Oh, that's great." She went on to say a couple other things, and she's like, "Well, good. At least you're not eating pizza." And to that I say,
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk,
Step right up, let's get your weight.
"Thank you, I'll pass."
Go ahead and stand on the scale.
No, really. You can put refused on the charts.
I have to write this arbitrary number down. Stand on the scale.
So here's the deal. You can have my weight if and only if the doctor needs it to prescribe me a new med or if I'm going under general anesthesia. Otherwise, you can put refused on the charts. Thanks.
You're absolutely right, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why BMI is full of shit. 1. The mathematician who created it, Adolf Quetelet, said BMI, the formula he derived, should not be used to indicate the level of fatness in an individual. He made a quick and dirty formula up to help study fatness in populations as a whole. 2. It's scientifically nonsensical. Why are you squaring someone's height in relation to their weight? 3. BMI ignores waist size. Most researchers and doctors agree that waist size is a good indicator of cardiovascular health, not BMI. Number 4, BMI isn't even a fixed number. In 1998, the cutoff point between overweight and normal was reduced by 2.7 points. Overnight, millions of Americans became overweight. Number 5, it doesn't take into account the physiological differences in people's bodies, rendering a lot of people who shouldn't be overweight as overweight. BMI is full of shit.
All right. Frankly, I'm getting sick of having to explain this over and over and over in many different ways for people to respect it. So I'm going to try to do this one video as concisely as possible, and hopefully it eliminates any more questions about this issue. In regards to discussing weight loss on my page, and in regards to you being somebody participating in weight loss and being on my page, I do not allow intentional weight loss on my page. I do not want people talking about intentional weight loss on my page. I don't even want you to follow me if you're engaging in intentional weight loss. Now, here are some caveats. If you are unintentionally losing weight, that's fine. If you're not focusing on it and it's just happening, that is okay. If you have an active eating disorder that you are working on healing from, that is okay. As long as you're not following me for like Fatspo, that's okay. If you are being coerced to lose weight by your doctor in order to get a life-saving surgery, that is okay. The fact that it's happening is not okay, but the fact that you're here is okay. I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to push back against your doctor, to seek other doctors and other surgeons until you find one that will not make you have that requirement, because I do know that there are surgeons out here who will not make you shrink yourself in order to have life-saving surgeries. But if you have done everything you can and that is your only option left, I understand that. And I don't judge that at all. So it's okay if you're here because you are having to participate in coerced weight loss because your doctor will not treat you until you lose that weight. I understand that. I also encourage you, once you get the treatment you need, go back to not caring about your weight because it's so arbitrary and does not speak to your health at all. There are no other conditions in which I want to hear about your weight loss or in which I am okay with your weight loss and okay with you being here. If you are losing weight because you want to feel better, be in less pain, be healthier, all of these things, that's fatphobic, okay? Those are all based on fatphobic lies fed to you by the medical industrial complex and fat phobia within the medical industrial complex. That's not welcome here. I think that about covers it. I would really love to be allowed to stop having to answer questions about this. Not every space is for every person, and that's okay. These are the boundaries that I keep around my space to keep my space safe. If you don't like it, I literally don't care. I don't need you to comment to tell me how much you hate this opinion that I have. This is my safe space. This is my boundary. If you do not like it, leave. Thanks.
This reminds me of something.
Aw, babe, you're not fat. That's just your pelvic tilt.
You shouldn't be eating bread.
Why not?
Because you're overweight. Over what weight? What do you mean? Well, you said I'm overweight, so what weight am I over? You're over a healthy weight. How do you know what a healthy weight is? According to the BMI scale, BMI's been proven repeatedly to not be an accurate measurement of health, so over what weight? Over weight! Over what weight? Well, like, you're unhealthy. My doctor says I'm fine. But you're overweight. Over what weight?
It's actually really good garlic bread. Garlic bread is my favorite food. I could honestly eat it for every meal. Or just eat it all the time without even stopping.
You get fat.
No, why would I get fat?
Bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat?
One of the most common questions I get is, how can you say there's no relationship between weight and health? And first of all, virtually nobody is saying that. What I and many other fat activists are saying, and in fact we're begging people to understand this, is that as it stands in the current research, the relationship between weight and health is correlational, not causal. So some research methods 101. When two things are correlated, it means that they're happening at the same time. It does not mean that one thing is causing the other thing. For example, there's a very strong correlation between male pattern baldness and heart attacks, which is true. Now, based on that information, should we ascertain that baldness causes heart attacks? Should we try to get bald men to grow hair in an effort to reduce their likelihood of having a heart attack and then blame them when they can't do it? No, because what's actually happening is that a third factor seems to be at play, which contributes to both baldness and heart attacks. What I'm suggesting is that we look much more closely at the third factors at play when it comes to weight and health. For example, fat people frequently have our blood pressure taken with blood pressure cuffs that are too small. The problem with that is that when you use a cuff that's too small, it will always result in a false high reading. And this happens all the time. So these are the kinds of things I think about when someone says that fat people have higher rates of hypertension. I think, of course we do. We're constantly getting false high readings. And more broadly, there are a number of very influential third factors that contribute to the overall trend of health problems for fat people, such as weight stigma, also known as the stress of discrimination, something that fat people experience a lot. Another is weight cycling. Virtually all fat people have tried to lose weight at some point in our lives, but pursuing weight loss is a virtual guarantee that someone will experience weight cycling, which is extremely hard on the body. And finally, we have inaccessible, inequitable, and biased healthcare. Fat people experience all of these things, and all of them contribute to illness. But despite all of these third factors, discrimination, stress, weight cycling, limited healthcare, biased healthcare, incompetent healthcare, and a lack of proper medical equipment, the cultural conversation around weight and health refuses to evolve. People, especially thin people, tend to be very committed to upholding fat phobia. People are just more comfortable believing that fat people do bad things and that leads to bad health, and thin people do good things and that leads to good health, despite the fact that we know that's very misleading, very stigmatizing, and often untrue. Turns out the pushback that I get on this topic, it's not really about health. It was fat phobia all along, guys.